question.
Ma'am, may tatanong lang po. Meron na po bang code sa Google Classroom?
Yes, orientation, binigay ko na. Wala ka ba kayo sa classroom?
Meron na po, ma'am.
Teka. Para mabilis tayo. Math. Ay, ano ka, Regina? Math science. Para ma-send ko dito.
Math po, ma'am.
Math. Okay. So, for math class, madami rin tayo dito. Wala ka ba ng orientation?
Meron po. Nakalimutan ko lang po, Ma'am Joy.
Okay, this is for the math class. Paki-click na lang yung link.
Thank
Tapos
you po,
yung
ma'am.
PNGKSFN sa dulo, yun yung class code. Okay, kung hindi na siya. Okay, let's begin. I hope you did your part for advanced reading kasi kung nag-advanced reading kayo, may masasagot kayo dito. And before I proceed with our discussion din, wala naman nagtanong sa akin sa math and science, but this is from other section, so sabihin ko na rin sa'yo because I have the same answer. May nagtanong kasi sa ibang section, they ask, ma'am, what will I do po if, for example, mayroon akong work, may mga ganon, so ano po yung pwede kong gawin kapag hindi ako nakakapasok sa klase nyo? And siguro ma-advise ko na lang is bumawi ka sa ibang percentage kasi hindi na ako magbibigay ng online activities. I think, since nagka-klase tayo ng 2 hours, tapos magbibigay pa ako ng activity, hindi naman ako yung kagaya ng math, science na enrichment na kailangan talaga ng mga activity. Parang it's too tiring for the rest, so I won't give you now. What I want you to do is to be present. Ngayon, kung hindi na talaga kaya, bumawi ka na lang sa quizzes. We will have different quizzes. Kung hindi pa din, saka midterm and final. It's just that, and project, pwede naman. Hindi ka lang talaga makakauno kasi may kulang kang porsyento eh. Diba? Parang ganun. So, if hindi talaga kaya, you don't have any choice but to bumawi ka na lang sa quiz, midterm, final, and exam. Kasi hindi ako nasa guidelines naman, every other day, every other week or twice a month, magkikita tayo. So, wala naman din ako nilalabag. And I also already asked Sir RS. May go signal naman niya ako. Parang ako hindi na nahihirapan yung mga bata na pagkatapos ng klase ko, ano pa sila, mag-assignment. Hindi naman, I think, na-address naman na natin yung issues about sa class kasi hindi naman tayo math. Yung math kasi kailangan nyo ng parang sinusolve continuously and science as well, mga so, yun lang. Yun lang. Right. Okay. So, we'll start our class. Now, before sorry. Okay. So, as a student, when do you feel that a class is a learner-centered class? This is one of the questions that I want to ask you. Kailan mo as a estudyante, nararamdaman na, kasi second year na kayo, so maybe you have an idea between the difference between the learner-centered and teacher-centered. I was actually checking. Pero, you're my third class, parang iba-iba yung idea ng mga bata na na-handle ko. Hindi kagaya nung nasa lessons natin. So I want to ask you still, if as a student now, when do you feel, kailan mo na-feel na learner-centered ang klase? So I will be removing my screen and I'll stop presenting tayo. Okay, so Joshua Platero raised his hand. How about you, Joshua?
So, masasabi po na isang learner student po na feel namin kung magbibigay po ng mga assessment, kung magbibigay po ng mga activity po ang teachers, which is na-check po na nakikita po nila kung ano na po bang alam namin. Doon po nila matetest kung hanggang saan na po yung knowledge namin, wherein kami po yung centered din, kami po yung mismong tinutukoy po.
Okay, sige, thank you. So, magbibigay ng assessment. Yes, Edwin.
Ano po, ma'am, mapi-prepare po namin yung magbibigay din po kayo ng mga pre-test po, tapos po sa pre-test po tapos post-test po. Doon po namin malalaman kung nag-improve pa po or hindi po sa isang estudyante.
Okay, so by giving pre-test and post-test, nice. Josel Bernardo.
Ma'am, kapag po napag-iisip po kami ng mga guro kung ano po yung mga dapat gawin or dapat pong solusyon sa isa pong activity or quizzes na binibigay po nila.
Okay, so napag-iisip kayo ng mga guro. Okay? Kim Ian.
Pag po ma'am, pag after po nung magdi-discuss po kayo, parang magbibigay po kayo ng game para po mas ganado pa po yung mga estudyante. Yun lang
Okay.
po.
Habang nag-discuss, nagbibigay ka ng mga games. Okay, sige. Arlene.
Kapag po sa discussion kasama po yung students, yung may mga recitation po, yung para pong sinasama po yung students dun sa discussion.
Sinasama yung student sa discussion, may recitation. Yes, Geraldine. Thank you, Arlene. May taguyo. Geraldine, may
Ma'am
binanong.
Geraldine po. Okay po. Wala ko po mali. Ano po ma'am, para po sa akin natututo po na isang learner-centered po. Pagka po yung mga teachers po is nagkakaroon po sila ng follow-up questions right after po ng discussions and nagtatanong mga teachers kung saan po kami nahihirapan para alam po nila kung saan mag-a-adjust sa mga dinidiscuss po nila. Kung nakakasunod pa po kami or hindi na po sa discussion. Ganun po.
Okay, so very good, Geraldine. So tinatanong ni teacher, ina-assess ni teacher kung nasusundan. So may concerns of students. Joyan Carpio.
If ano po, nagtatanong po yung teacher kung naiintindihan po, tsaka po, if active,
Joyan, teka lang, malayo ka. Yung sa mic.
if active po yung student po sa kanya, kung nadidinig po yung, nadidinig po ako,
Parang lalo ka na lumayo.
kung hindi pa po dinig,
Ayan, medyo lumapit ka ng very light. Oh.
kapag ka po, ano po, active po yung mga students po, and ano po, kung kagaya po, una po, logic po, ganun, it's tama po. Logic, ganun po.
Okay, so ang naiintindihan ko na clear is pag active yung class. Is that the gist?
Opo.
Okay, so yun. So pag active ang class po, learner-centered. Regina, how about you?
Learner-centered po, ma'am, yun po yung ginaguide pa rin po ng teacher yung estudyante. Kasi po, meron pong case na magbibigay lang po yung teacher ng gagawin, tas bahala na po yung estudyante na gawin po yun kung ano po yung naintindihan nila.
So yung case na sinasabi mo, yun yung learner-centered, yung bahala na si student, o yung ginaguide?
Yung
pareho?
ginaguide po. Yung ginaguide
Okay.
lang po.
Okay, yung ginaguide. Mary Joy Tabalan, sorry.
Ma'am, ang sa akin po, pagka po learner-centered, yung inahayaan pong ma-engage po kaming mga students na mag-give po kami ng opinion at saka hinahayaan po kami ng teacher na itry po na, kagaya po namin magti-teacher, itry po na kami po yung mag-discuss para ma-testing po namin kung paano po ba yung pagtuturo po. Mga ganun po. Naisip.
Okay, so hinahayaan. Okay, very good. Maganda yung mga term na ginagamit niyo. Catherine Ramirez.
Ma'am, para sa akin po, as a student po, yung inai-instruct po, tsaka nag-guide po yung kaming mga estudyante sa mga dapat po naming matutuhan ng teacher.
May nag-guide and i-instruct. So, dalawa na lang tatawagin ko, si Keanu tsaka si Paulien. Okay, Keanu.
Ma'am, para sa akin po, learner-centered po para pong nagkakaroon po ng motivation para po magkaroon ng ang pagka-engage yung mga students po, and also having teaching yung problem solving skills, and also getting the students to think about thinking and allowing to have control po.
Allowing control, thinking. Okay, very good. And last, Pauline.
Personally po pagka po hinihingi po ng teacher yung prior knowledge po ng student doon po sa topic para po alam po niya kung saan po siya magsisimula.
Okay. So hinihingi yung prior knowledge. So you're assessing the students. And that's for you, that is learner-centered. Okay, very good. Thank you for all of your answer. And of course, that is correct. All of that. Kahit yung medyo malayo for me, because what I asked is, when do you feel? Kailan mo nararamdaman that this is a teacher-centered? Also, thank you for the answers of John Mark. Nakafocus sa estudyante, very good. May interaction sa estudyante. Gina-guide, sabi ni Christian, and si Kay sabi, kapag hinihingi ni teacher ang opinions. Now, this time, sa chat box na lang tayo magsagot. Which do you prefer? A teacher who is the sole discussant, as in ikaw lang, lecture ka lecture, or a teacher who gives enrichment activities? Okay? Which do you prefer? A teacher, dun na lang po sa chat box, who is the sole discussant or lecturer, or a teacher who gives you enrichment activities? Alin doon? Enrichment si Trisha. Okay, thank you, Trisha. It's nice. Elena, learner-centered. Erica, teacher gives enrichment activities. I guess yung opinions ng math and science regarding sa enrichment activities is very it's expected sa inyo kasi you're science and math major, and kayo yung subject, actually my dear students, kayo yung subject na laging dapat may assignment kasi ang bibigat Parang yung, di ba sa junior high school, 1 to 2 hours lang ang science and math. Parang kulang siya sa dami ng kailangan practice. I don't like math and science, yung mga kasi hirap ako doon. But I guess as a teacher, math and science are very important, and I think talagang kailangan siya laging may assignment so that may ginagawa yung bata na, for example, ngayon, bigyan mo siya ito yung topic, tapos pinauwi mo sa bahay, may enrichment activities. Okay. And games. I enjoy, combination naman daw si Mary Joy. I enjoy math and science teachers na may pag-games din kasi parang sobrang light. Although nakakasagot lang yung mga matatalino. So sana may mga din, hindi masyado. Now, another question for you that I would just like you to put it on the chat box. Which do you prefer, group tasks or individual tasks? Group tasks si Joshua, Christian, group tasks. Group. Dire-diretso na sila. Group. Individual si Catherine. Puro tayo group. Individual din si Mary. Ayan, dumadami na yung individual. Okay. So maybe because of the individual, it's hard to deal sometimes not with the project but with the people you are with sometimes. Minsan yun na mahirap, hindi naman kasi yung ang mahirap, diba? Minsan yung tao. Okay. Now, let's have a game. First to answer, actually we will have series of these questions. Magkakaroon tayo ng series all throughout our discussion that you will answer. So for our class manager, we have Joy Ancarpio and Jewel Benaventura. So first to answer through chat will receive 3 points. The first 5 will receive 2 points each. Now, ibig sabihin, sorry magulo, pero yung first na kakatama will receive 3 points. Tapos, may yung sumunod sa first na first 5 after ng first, they will receive 2 points. Okay? So, yun. Okay? So, all in all, 6 yung makaka-receive ng additional points. So what you will do is you will read the question task and answer it immediately in the chat box. So all of the questions here, I think it's six questions muna. Nasa module siya. So if you did your advanced reading for Unit 1, may masasagot kayo kahit papan, kahit tula lang. Okay? Let's begin. Question number 1. This philosophy aims to be closely organized and a well-disciplined environment which develops in the student's lifelong quest for the truth. Okay? And yung clue, for the truth. Lifelong quest for the truth. Question number 1. Sino kaya ang nag-review? Okay. Question. Lifelong learning kaya? Naku. Wala tayong mga hindi nag-review. Okay, I saw one answer. The correct answer is perennialism. Very good. Wala tayong nangopya lang, oh. So, ang una nakatama sa atin ay si, nalito na ako, is Jocel. O, kasi lifelong learning eh. Okay, si Jocel. Thank you. So, Jocel will get 3 points and the rest, Colleen, Marie, Joy Ann, and Kim. So, bahala na lang kayo mag-check. Pero dito, sama-sama kayo ha. Hindi yan math or science. Let's have the next one. This philosophy believes that learning is rooted in the questions of learners that arise through experiencing the world. Through experiencing the world. Okay? This philosophy believes that learning is rooted in the questions of learners that arise through experiencing the world. What philosophy is this? Okay, may isa na kasagot. How about the others? Let's count to 5. 3, 4, 5. And let us reveal the answer. The correct answer is progressivism. So congratulations, kay Mary Angela Espina. Next. Question number 3. This philosophy believes that certain categories, ayan, yan ang clue, certain categories, example, women, racial groups, dinosaurs, original Picasso's artwork, have an underlying reality or true nature that one cannot observe directly. Okay. Si Kim, kung ano-ano yung isinusunod. Yung iyan, ayan, ang dami tuloy gumaya sa'yo. So, kayo nakakita ang categorizing. Yung iyan, saan mo napulot to? Dahil. Okay. The correct answer is essentialism. Si Kim Ian. Special mention kay Kim Ian. Napakadami mong tinangay na kaklase. Okay, congratulations, Josel Bernardo. Okay. Let's have the 4th question. Sorry, multitask tayo. Next. This is an approach to learning that holds that people actively construct or make their own knowledge and that reality is determined by the experience of learning. Na, meron ng clue. This is an approach to learning that holds that people actively construct or make their own knowledge. Ayan na. Pagsalit na, mali kayo dito. Ayan na. Construct and make their own knowledge. Baka naman. Okay, let's reveal the correct answer. The correct answer is constructivism. Alam niyo, sa ibang section, hindi nila natama. Kasi siguro nalito sila. Pero sa LET, minsan we need to have this kind of ability na we need to think. Saan natin mag-isip based on the question. Okay, question number 5. Ang dami nang nag-try. Question number 5. Learning is not an end in itself. This philosophy believes that learning is not an end in itself. Ayan na, mali na lang spelling si Shani. Constructivism. Okay, what is the correct answer? Okay, let us check. The correct answer is humanism. Very good. So, ang unang nakakuha, I see Shani. Okay? I think this is the last for this set. Medyo madami sagot dito. So, I will just ask one each of you. Give one specific aspect of learner-centered practice that are crucial in achieving learner-centered teaching. Nakalagay yan sa module. So, aspect of learner-centered practice that are crucial in achieving learner-centered teaching. What is that? Give one aspect of learner-centered practice that are crucial in achieving learner-centered teaching. Hindi na siya ism. Aspect na siya. Just give me one and you will receive 3 points. Just give me one and you will receive 3 points. Iba-ibang score. Okay? Isa pa lang ang may sagot. Let's check. Joshua, parang may napagbaligtad ka.
Pero yun naman po yung thought, di ba? Yung long life learning po.
Parang pansit lang, ano, para sa long life.
Ma'am, bilis po kasi nilang mag-type, kaya lang po nitinit ko.
Sige na nga, ano ba ito? Okay, let's check. Ayan, ginaya ka ni Edwin. Okay. Involving students in first-hand learning. Okay, yung tamang sagot. Giving student choices about and control of their learning. Teaching students lifelong learning skills and promoting the relevance of learner-centered teaching. Okay. So, that's it. Ayan, maraming gumaya. Hoy, Edwin, makungopya ka na lang. Mali pa. Nakakatuwa yung klase niya. You made me laugh today. Okay? So, let's continue that later. We'll have our discussion. Okay. So, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to chat. Now, let's begin with the Unit 1. Learner-centered teaching foundations and characteristics. So, we will discuss first Lesson 1, the learner-centered teaching. The learner-centered teaching focuses, actually, madami nakalagay doon, but it focuses in this classroom. Given the context of my students, course, and classroom, will this teaching action optimize my students' opportunity to learn? A while ago, you have described learner-centered teaching, some of you. And most of the things that I have heard from you is may pake ang teacher. The teacher is asking for the opinion of students. There's a word of control. It's not just the students, pero the teachers as well. The teacher and students, they have a say in comes to learning. And those are qualities of a learner-centered teaching. Kasi, in a learner-centered teaching, the teacher will think about their students, about involving their students, and if this will optimize the student's opportunity to learn. So, ang focus niya is not for you to memorize, but rather to optimize the student's opportunity to learn. So, it means that it's not just directed towards the fast learners, but rather to all students as well. So, yun yung learner-centered teaching. Iniisip ng teacher yung students. And characteristics of this one, it's actually different from the teacher-centered. Kasi there are new learning roles. Bakit? Because we have now different responsibilities that go beyond before taking notes and passing the test. Dati, and students have real control. Dati, when we say new learning roles, that is the teacher lang talaga, in a teacher-centered. Si teacher lang ang bahala. Siya ang mag-iisip ng lesson. You will just listen. You will have individual tasks kasi like quizzes, yun. And then project is also individual. And then afterwards, you will receive your score. But this one is different. the teachers will ask questions. What do you like? Ano ba yung, or if ever, do you understand the lesson? What do you think I can do? Parang ganon. So, actually, because of the student learner center, hindi naman dumali trabaho ng teacher eh. If you're really a concerned teacher, hindi madali ang trabaho. Bakit? Kasi pag kasi teacher-centered, hindi mo na kailangan mag-isip. Like, hindi nila natutunan? Paki ko sa kanila. So what if hindi nila natutunan? Ang importante, nagturo ako. Diba? So, ganun si teacher-centered kasi teacher-centered, what you want to do is to impart the knowledge. But with this one, it's different. You are more concerned of your students. Tingin nyo pag teacher-centered, iisipin ba ng mga teacher na, sige, gamitin ko nga yung BTS, si Kim Tae-young, yung mga ganon. Di ba? Ako, sa totoo lang, hindi naman ako mahilig ng BTS. Kaya lang, sometimes, I research and use different K-pop idols so that I could, minsan kasi mga bata, nakikita ko sila na nag-enjoy sila. Ay, si Kim Tae-young. Sagutan ko nga. Sabi ganon. Akala ko hindi siya papatok, pero pumapatok. So, I've been researching ano ba yung mga boys mahilig sa Marvel, sa mga kung ano-ano. Kaya inaalam ko sa kanila, kahit hindi ko alam. Kasi I'm using it as an example, which hindi kailangan ng teacher-centered. You don't need to ask. And with this one, collaboration is regular. Before, in a teacher-centered class, collaboration is just maybe for one group project, pero hindi siya lagi. But when it comes to learner-centered, tulong-tulong kasi siya. Na sa learner-centered, yung mga maihinang bata, igugrupo mo sa matatalino so that may tutoring session. Aside sa ikaw mismo, sa teacher, sinututoran mo tinituruan mo yung mga bata, merong mga enrichment people, mga leaders na magtutulong-tulong. So, matututo lahat. So, kaya mabigat. Kaya I don't blame those people who prefer individual tasks. Kasi yun, at least sariling palo mo na lang. Usually, nang they prefer individual tasks are those leaders na laging sila yung gumagawa, yung mga ganon. Kasi nahihirapan sila. But, alam nyo, ang kagandahan dyan, those who become leaders, successful leaders, sa mga group tasks, may mabe-benefit kayo dun eh. Kasi time will come, my dear students, you will become a head of a department. You will become an advisor. Ngayon, kung hindi ka sanay makipag-collaborate with other people, it will be hard for you. Kasi di ba kanya-kanya tayo ng buhay? Kanya-kanya tayo ng buhay. So, aspects of learner-centered practice is, number 1, is involving students in first-hand learning. So, you will involve them na kung ano yung gusto nila, you could ask them. Okay, so pwedeng ganun. So, hindi na puro ikaw. Hati na, different roles na tayo. Next is giving students choices about and control of their learning. So, you could give them, when we say choice, hindi naman sa hindi ka matuto. Hindi naman yon, but rather, you will just give an environment to them that they could feel that they have their control of their learning. Na they could learn at their own pace, at their own time. Kaya lang medyo mahirap to sa college. Usually to sa mga preschool, junior high, on elementary. Kasi we know, we're little by little helping them. Pero sa college kasi, ang importante sa atin is maipasa natin ang mga exam, licensure examination. Okay, so yun yun. Teaching students lifelong, hindi long life. Lifelong learning skills. When we say lifelong learning skills, it is not just until today. Before, ano ba ang ano nyo? You know the problem with students, hindi ko masabi with you kasi student din ako ngayon. The problem with us students is that we feel that because of this pandemic, it is more of a requirement. Everything is a requirement. Requirement. But the thing is, this is part. This is part of our real jobs na. Nagsabi na, I hate online classes. Pero ngayon, my dear students, you will be involved. Time will come, magiging online teachers kayo ng science and math. Ma'am, hindi ako di po kaya ng oras, ng ano ko na 3 hours klase, na i-stress ako na gagano'n. Kaso, we're not sure if kaya natin to teach students in the face-to-face classes. Kasi nagugustuhan na ng mga management na halo, na ang magkaklase na lang ng face-to-face ay yung mga medical courses, yung mga kailangan lang laboratory. The rest, you will have online classes. So what you should do right now is to think, paano ako mag-aaral ng online? And as a future teacher, iisipin mo na, what strategies can I use to help the students? As a college student, my dear students, hindi nyo na po iisipin ang inyong sarili. Dalawa na po ang iniisip nyo every time that you will do an activity, every time that you will, someone will discuss something from you, is how will you learn and how your future students will learn from you. Ganun na ang iniisip nyo ngayon kasi may mga nakasalalay na bata na sa inyo. Okay? So, yun. So, yun yung dapat nating tinuturo sa bata. It's a lifelong learning skills. Hindi lang ituturo ng teacher kung paano makapasa sa subject, but paano niya ma-apply yung subject. Yun yung learner-centered. And promoting the relevance of learner-centered teaching. So, yun ang aspect ng learner-centered practice. Okay? Next, in the learner-centered practice, ito yung pinaka-quotable quote niyan. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, and teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Before kasi in teacher-centered spoon feeding but now it's not. That this is one of my teachers. Nakuha ko na rin yung ganitong strategy. Nadinig ko na rin sa mga bata na ganito ginagawa ko sa kanila. Is that kagaya ng mga ST, some of my ST na nagturo sa inyo last time. Nadinig ko na nakinomen. Natutuwa daw sila sa strategy ko sa kanila kasi hindi nakamonitor ako sa kanila lahat ng galaw nila bago sila lumabas. Pero I will not tell them what to do. It's just, for example, ma'am, pwede ba to? Ang sasagot ko is, pwede naman, pero sa tingin mo, paano mo siya mas mapapaganda? Yung parang, when someone asks you a question, of course, strategies, pag facts, you should address it with facts. But for strategies, you will give them a chance on how they could make it better. Right? And as a student, and as a teacher, we should do the same with our students. Kailangan matuto silang mag-isip. Yun yung learner-centered talaga. Kasi sa learner-centered, i-ready natin sila sa future. So, sa future, walang tao na nandun for them. I'll give you an example. When I was a student teacher, so soon magiging student teacher kayo, I thought, magaling na ako. Kasi, kayang-kaya ko magturo. Okay, so, binigyan ako ng topic kasi nag-teacher yung city ko, Buntes, ako yung nag-handle ng klase, wala siya. So, binibigyan lang ako ng topic, ako na bahala gumawa sa lahat. So, feeling ko galing-galing ko na. Yabang no? But, during my first job, napakahirap pala. Sabi ko, pag pala nandun ka na, napakahirap. Why? Kasi, when you were a student teacher, may nag-guide pa din sa'yo na city. No estudyante ka, although may report, meron sa'yo nag-guide na teacher na, ito, i-report mo itong topic. But, as a teacher, hindi pala ganun. Ikaw ang iisip. Saan ako magsisimula? Ano ipakukwis ko? Diba? Iisipan mo na lahat. So, as a teacher, kailangan matuto ka, maturuan mo yung bata para pag on their own na sila, pag tinulak mo na sila sa bangin, kaya nilang lumipad. So, they're like, I forgot, yun? Yung ibon na ang ginagawa ng parents ng nila is tinutulak sila sa mataas na, sa taas sila nakastay, tapos they need to, kailangan nila mag-fly. It's either they will die or they will fly. Parang something ganun. So, yun ang ng learner-centered. Kaya lang, it's a process. Napakatagal pag learner-centered. So, one of the things that was mentioned during in your module is that, bakit daw ito very popular with the kids? I'm sorry, I'm a 90s kid, so I don't know. Wala akong alam sa mga cartoons ngayon. Yung Cocomelo, nadidinig ko lang. But haven't watched it yet. Wala kasing bata dito. So, during that time, ito yung mga popular. But I don't watch Sesame Street kasi naboboringan ako sa kanila. Parang OA. But I love Dora the Explorer and Blue's Clues. Some will say, why is this popular to the kids? Colorful, animated, stuffed toys. Okay, so those are the different things that you might say. But aside from that, they are popular because they ask the student. They ask the kids on what they will do. Especially Dora. Si Dora kasi kabisado ko yung kay Dora. Di ba? Every time that she will do something, where do we ask for help when we don't know which way to go? Parang gano'n, yun ang tanong ni Dora. So, yung mga bata, the map, right? Gawin gano'n. So, parang yung bata, kahit alam nila, even if they know that this is a TV show, pero they said that she was right, na ano yung mga bata naman, nunod na ako. Tapos tatanungin nila, tatanong ko alin yung pwedeng gamitin sa dami ng laki ng bag ni Dora the Explorer. So may bangka sa loob, may traktora, di ba? Tatanong ko different. So what should I think can we use for this blah blah blah? So tas magpo-pause siya. Tapos, di ba? Parang ganon. The students could choose. Learner-centered yung approach ni Dora the Explorer. Kahit na nandun siya sa screen. Because the students, the kids could think. Na gumagamit yung utak na, which one of you mentioned a while ago na you were asked and gumagana yung utak niyo. Which is for you, a learner-centered approach. So that's it. And aside sa Blue's Clues din, so, di ba, Steve, kasi si Steve, during that time, yun ang kilala ko, yung unang-unang Steve. So, they ask you, sino ba to? Okay, so what should we do? Parang ganon. So, parang may sense of responsibility yung bata pag napapakinggan niya. And this actually is very effective to students. Kasi, students ask questions. Students are rational beings. Therefore, they ask questions. Now, nakikita nila mag-e-experiment. Lalo sa science, yung science and mathematics, napakasaya ng klase nyo kung kaya nyo gawing masaya. You know, science and math, why are they boring to some people? Kasi, they don't involve the student. Nakaupo lang, o kaya tatayo. Oh, X plus X. Yun. Pero but you could do something about it. Okay? So, let's have our next session. Next session tayo. Bago tayo Unit 2. Lesson 2. Okay, same. First, your answer through chat will receive 3 points. First 5 will receive 2 points each. And I hope you're ready. So let us begin. Question number 7. Emphasis on learning by doing. Emphasis on learning by doing. Which philosophy is this? Learning by doing. Question number 7. Emphasis on learning by doing. Okay, so let's reveal the answer. The correct answer is progressivism. Very good. So the first one who answered. Let's have the next question. Question number 8. This philosophy played a major role in the Renaissance period. Again, yan ang clue nyo sa let. Philosophy during the Renaissance period. Again, philosophy played a major role in the Renaissance period. Okay, may mga clue naman sa mga different isms. Minsan, pag hindi siya, it could not be applied. Okay, so let us check. The correct answer is humanism. Very good. Okay. Next, number 9. Okay, this one is not ism. Okay, hindi siya ism, hindi siya philosophy. What do we call rewards within self? Ayan yung clue. Rewards within self. So therefore, the last word, we have 2 words. The last word is rewards. Ano yung isa? Anong word yung nahanap namin? Blank rewards. Rewards within self. Okay. Rewards mo within self, sa sarili mo. What is that? Okay? Let's reveal the answer. The correct answer is intrinsic rewards. Very good. Question number 10. May 10 pa pala. Sorry. Question number 10. Also known as cognitive constructivism. It is also known as cognitive constructivism. What is that? Kung si Giselle Bernardo ay nag-aaral. Okay. So, let us check. The correct answer is individual constructivism. Okay, let's continue later. Let's have our discussion again. So, we are already in a unit 2, the paradigm shift from teacher-centered to learner-centered teaching. So let's begin first with the teacher-centered philosophy. So ngayon, ito na tayo, nasa philosophies na tayo. The first philosophy that we will have is essentialism. Actually, madali lang tandaan yung mga philosophies. Don't linawin natin. So essentialism. Number 1, it is from Plato's idealism that all things have such an essence or form. Lahat daw ng bagay ay may essence at may form. Therefore, there are certain categories. So, ikaw ay men, women, at may different racial groups. Meron tayong dinosaurs. So, ikaw, lahat ng bagay may category. This is a book, this is a thing. So, meron tayong category. But essentialism, it believes in a classrooms are teacher-centered. And it is purely lecture. But this one, because it is also relatively conservative. So you could feel na medyo tahimik ang classroom. That's why one of the people that I could remember is Snape. The classroom is Snape is an essentialist classroom. It is a teacher-centered. You should pass the test. Okay? Although, syempre may experiments sa Harry Potter kasi sa Hogwarts because they're wizards. So, talaga kasama yun. And for them, fundamental arts are very important. The reading, writing, arithmetic, and the right conduct. This is very important to the essentialism. And the core curriculum is the surrounding environment. So ito yung mga, these are present in essentialism curriculum. Surrounding environment, the basic natural laws, disciplines to promote happier and more educated living. So, meron siya. So, isipin nyo na lang para tayong mga hindi siya 90s mga 50s, mga ganon. So, medyo sobrang higpit ng mga teachers. Ang nila is, siguro if you have lolos and lolas that they will say, nung araw, alam ng yung tunog pa lang ng takong ng teacher namin, alam na namin. So, ito yun. Kabisado nila, pati page number, sinasabi ng mga lolo at lola natin. So, because it's very important for them, academics. And ang nila is instills students essential of academic knowledge. And teachers, itong pinagkaiba pa lang, dito pa lang sa essentialism, not rather to transmit or reshape the society. Hindi, wala silang pakialam doon. Ang importante sa kanila is to transmit the traditional moral values and intellectual knowledge that students needs to become a model citizens. So, kailangan, paglabas ng classroom, the students are model citizens. Matalino. Okay? So, mabait. So, those are the difference. So, parang medyo Kastila times to. Ganun sila. So, ganun daw dapat pag essentialism. Curriculum, of course, hindi naman mawawala. The mathematics, the natural sciences, history, foreign language, and literature. These are the important in essentialism. And ayaw nila nito. Frown upon vocational courses or other courses that water down academic content. So when we say vocational courses, so pag when it comes to the subjects, ayaw nila ng mga food technology, yung mga ganon, mga dressmaking, kasi ang gusto nila, utak. To, umaandar. Education. Education. Puro yun ang umaandar sa kanila. Okay? And they do not give emphasis to the students' interest. Ayaw nila nun. And for this one, teachers must have the mastery of the subject matter, intellectual and moral models of students, the paragon of virtue. When we say paragon, the summit. Talagang pag nakikita si teacher, sobrang kagalang-galang. Kay bawal magkamali. Okay. So, yun kayo. Okay. Kung essentialist teacher ka, talagang siguro ito yung professor na never late. Pag actually, meron pa rin ako nakikita mga professor na ganito, ha. Pag nagtuturo sila, nakabarong. Hindi naman yung barong na yung pang-anak, but rather, the barong, yung parang barong na parang sa Meralco nagtatrabaho. Parang mga ganon, yung barong na panglalaking, parang ganon sila. So, kahit na Sunday, whatever, they're formal. Kasi kailangan, damit pa lang, hindi ka naka-t-shirt. Actually, pati polo shirt, bawal. Sa kanila talaga yung formal. So, essentialist yung mga teacher na yun. Okay? Rigid and disciplinary sila. Order effective. Ito, sabi dito. Effective teaching cannot occur in a loud and disorganized environment. Ito kasi pinopromote ng learner-centered na masaya, pero sa kanila ayaw. Kaya, yung mga teachers na ganito, sobrang tahimik ng klase nila. Kasi, for them, this is easy to, the knowledge, the passing of knowledge is better. Teachers must be educationally qualified. Values na important sa essentialism, respect sa authority, perseverance, fidelity to duty, consideration for others, practicality, and intellectual knowledge that students need to become a model citizen. So, basta essentialism, lagi yung tatandaan, model citizens ka dapat, the fundamentals, the basic knowledge, the different R's, the reading, writing, arithmetic, and right conduct. So, yun ang tatandaan nyo sa essentialism. So, the proponent is William Bagley. Now, let's have the perennialism. The perennialism teach students to reason, and develop minds that think critically. The classroom, kagaya ng essentialist, is closely organized, well-disciplined environment because it develops students to lifelong quest for that truth. So more on thinkers sila, thinker people. And it focuses on everlasting ideas and universal truths. Hindi sila yung kagaya ng iba na they do not teach things that might not be true anymore. After sometimes. So universal truths sila. Suggested that education's focus should be the ideas, had lasted for centuries, believing that ideas are as relevant and meaningful today as when they were written. Kaya, they are studying the finest thinkers. Sa kanila, they believe, ito sa perennialism, na ideas that lasted for centuries, since naglasted sila for centuries, therefore, tama sila hanggang ngayon. So, yun yung idea kapag perennialism. And they will study and analyze the works of the history's finest and thinkers. Kagaya ni Aristotle, ayan, yung mga ganyan. Si Alexander the Great, yung mga ganong people. They teach students to reason and develop minds that can think critically. So more on about thinking sila. Epitomize a prepared effort to make these ideas available to students and guide their thought process toward understanding and appreciating great works of literature written by history's finest thinkers that transcend time and never become outdated. So they love classics. Mahilig sa classical literatures. They have mastery of the content and development of reasoning skills. The more things they change, the more they stay the same. Skills are still developed sequentially. For example, the reading, ayan. The reason why this is important because reading, writing, speaking, and listening, they will, after some time, they will help early grades to prepare sa mga study about literature, history, and philosophy. Classroom are also centered on teachers to accomplish the goals. The teachers are not concerned with the interests of the students. Ang importante sa kanila is the truth. Okay? Curriculum is universal and is based on the view of all human beings possess the same essential nature. But the problem is, diba, nowadays, we believe that human beings are unique. But before sa perennialism, they have essential natures sila. Perennialists think that it is important that individuals think deeply, analytically, flexibly, and imaginatively. Now, they disapprove teachers. Ayaw nila sa teachers na nagtuturo ng mga unnecessary things kasi baka hindi naman siya through time. But they prefer things that is actually tested. Kumbaga, subok na. Class about religion or history, the instructor would use religious book and historical documents. So the proponent is Robert Hutchins. Now, let us discuss the different student-centered philosophies naman tayo. Now we have the progressivism. Progressivism is an educational movement that gives more value and experience. Again, progressivism is about experience kesa formal learning. Kanina yung dalawa, puro formal. Experiential learning concentrates on the development of child's talents. So this time, talents of the children are very important as well. Dati hindi, interest wala, but now, it's very important. Progressivists believe that education should focus on the whole child, then on the content or the teacher. This educational philosophy stresses that students should test ideas through active experimentation. So you could give them experiments. So dito nakakatuwa, they could ask the students or they could conduct a simple experiment. So, or pwede rin about questions. So whatever you could think of. Learning is rooted in the question of learners that arise through experiencing the world. Believe that individuality, progress, and change are fundamental to one's education. So they believe that the more that students progress, the more they change, mas matututo sila. They believe that people learn best from what they consider most relevant to their lives. That's why sa progressivism, may students, kailangan alam ng bata why they are learning this. Like for example, sa science, bakit pa natin kailangan aralin yung chemistry? Maridinig sa mga bata, hindi na chemistry. Pag bumili ka sa tindahan, tatanong, anong element ang gusto mo? Hindi naman, di ba? Parang ganon. So instead of having that kind of thinking of students, they need to give them real-life applications. Bakit? Anong gagawin nila? Anong mapapala nila? Hindi pwede sabihin, hindi matututo kayo. But, paano nyo ma-apply? As much as possible, you could look for different applications that even if they are just an ordinary citizens, nakukuha. And aside from that, aside from science, meron din tayo sa mathematics. Bakit ba kailangan trigonometry? Bakit ba kailangan aralin? Kasi yung addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, madali siyang ituro. Why? Because the students could easily see kung saan siya magagamit. Pag marami kang ipa-plus na mga gamit, pag addition, di ba, mga ganon. But how about the other terms? Bakit kailangan yung SOHCAHTOA? Bakit kailangan yung ganito? So, look for different applications. Like for example, I don't know why people keep on math teachers keep on asking yung problem solving when it comes to discover ko na lang nung nagbiyahe kami. Yung what time ka makakarating. Kunwari, bumabiyahe ka with blah blah kilometers per hour, tapos ganito yung distance, what time ka makaka-arrive? So before, when I was younger, I don't know, ano naman? Ano naman kung ganitong bilis, sa ganito, ganyan, saan ko makukuha yun? Now, because of GPS, kasi yung sasakyan namin may GPS, so makakalculate mo kung sa based on the kilometers, sa takbo, at saka dun kasi nagbabago-bago siya every time na may traffic, nag-iiba-iba ng estimated, nakakuha siya ng estimated time. And because of that, ano pwede natin sabihin sa estudyante natin? Although alam ko medyo mababaw na sa part niyo yun, sa math, kasi junior high school pwedeng sasabihin ng mga elementary teachers, so you could plan, di ba? Pag kunwari, magpaplano kayo. Pag i-excite nyo sila, and you could, since you will make it, kasi it will be relevant to them. Because not all of them will go to the technical jobs. Like for example, yung mga architecture, hindi naman lahat mag-architect. So pag sinabi mo na, Pag naging architecture kayo, magagamit yung tool. Hindi naman ako mag-architecture, magtitinda lang ako. Parang ganun. So, you could see. As much as possible, look for specific things na pwede nilang gamitin. O ngayong pandemic, yung mga math problems na Karen bought 50 tissues ba? Ganun, meron na, di ba? Na ano na natin ngayong pandemic, may pwede kayong gumamit ng mga memes. Ayan. So, kasi because the students really want to know, kasi tag-estudyante naman kayo, ba't ba ito inaaral? So, sa progressivism, kita mo sa kanila, okay, pag nalaman ko to, i-apply ko to. Parang, okay. Tapos pa ang kagandahan nun sa science and math. Kasi sa inyo maraming mga applications talaga eh. Sobrang ganda kasi ng subject ko kahit hindi ko trip yung math. Pero ang laki ng tulong niya sa buhay ng tao. So that students po, kunwari, alam ko tong element na to, nakikita dun sa mga for example, mga nutrition facts, ingredients, sa mga pagkain, nakikita nila yung mga some different things. Which is good. You could use that para mas maging aware yung mga bata. The new or progressive teaching methods are based on the philosophy of John Dewey that education is life, growth, and reconstruction. So, tandaan sa progressivism, reconstruction of human experiences and a social process. The main goal of the new method is personality development through proper stimulation, direction, and guidance. So, sa kanya nagsimula yung learner center. Well, actually, hindi naman, pero kilala talaga siya. Guidance and counseling of the students go hand in hand with the regular methods of teaching. So, for this one, guidance and proper things so that the students could, maybe they have problems, medyo kinoconsider natin sa progressivism, unlike sa essential and perennialism. The new methods place more emphasis on thinking and less upon memorizing. So this is the reason why your teachers nowadays, they're giving you situational problems. Okay, before, memorize mo lang siya, but now, how do you apply? Okay, so parang medyo mabigat. The progressive education programs have these qualities in common. So, emphasis on learning by doing. You have hands-on project. You have experiments, games, some activities, some assignments. Ayan, expeditionary learning, experiential learning. They also have integrated curriculum, focus on thematic units, integration of entrepreneurship. Maybe you could, some of the things that you could use for entrepreneurship para ma-promote natin yun. Matutuwa sila kasi kumikita sila, ganun. Strong emphasis on problem solving and critical thinking, group work, understanding and action of goals, learning opposed to their learn, and of course, collaborative and cooperative learning projects. So this education have also this common social responsibility and democracy, highly personalized learning accounting for each individual's personal goals. We have different personal goals on your students. Some of you gusto niyo maging magna cum laude, some of you become summa cum laude. That's why you have different efforts. Na kailangan ma-realize ng isang bata na the reason why some students, bakit sila nag-iiyak? Ito yung lagi ko sinasabi sa mga bata. Ma'am, bakit, na-realize ko when I became a teacher. Ma'am, bakit po siya tingnan mo, meron siyang, isa lang yung dalawa, hindi siya naka-perfect, tapos iyak siya na iyak. Ako nga, ma'am, 10 mali ko eh. Why? Actually, we have answers for that. Kasi, yung mga umiiyak na yon, hindi naman sila nag-aral ng isang linggo lang. Hindi sila nag-aral ng overnight lang. Kung ikaw puyat, sila, kasi nag-aral ka, kinabisado mo yung isang buong grading sa isang gabi, isang oras, 2 oras, sila hindi. Kasi yung mga nag-aaral na yan, ng mga nakakaisa, unless you're very genius, nagsisimula sila, first day pa lang ng klase, or maybe, bakasyon pa lang, nag-a-advance na sila nung nakuha na nila yung libro nila. Doon pa lang nag-aaral na sila. Kaya, every point is part of their pinaghirapan. And you cannot blame them. Kasi, parang isip nila, I have a higher goal. Maybe, they have a higher goal sa'yo. Kung ikaw ang goal mo lang is makapasa, sila hindi. Maybe they want to have a scholarship. They want to get the medal, which is what they want. So that's a problem when it comes to collaboration. Kasi pag group project, may mga iba tamad, malibhasa, mababa lang naman ang gustong marating, pero Yung iba naman, marami talagang problema sa buhay. Diba? So, iba naman, they don't have time. So, it's really hard. But you need to deal. You need to know how to deal with this kind of people. Because dealing with this kind of people, pag kaya mo na mag-deal, time will come, mas mahihirap pa yung mga makakasalamuhan. So, yeah, personal goals natin are very different. Selection of subject content by looking forward to asking what skills will be needed in the future society. So, ina-ask mo, ano skills kaya ang kailangan ng mga bata? So, if you think the skill should be, for example, you're a social studies teacher. So, you want to know, and importante sa iyo ang pagpili ng binoboto. So, you need to tell them how to think. Yeah. As a science teacher, what are the different things that you could help them as a math teacher so that the things that they will need in the future? The emphasis on textbooks in favor of varied learning resources. So marami ka ng mga different resources siya. So let us now have humanism. So, belief nila is education that is good for a person is also best for the nation's well-being. So dito, they prefer humanism is, of course, maka-human, humane, okay? And therefore them, if each individual is okay, makaka-apekto yung buong nation. It will benefit the nation. The individual learner is not regarded as a passive or at least managed recipient or input. He or she is the choosing a self-selecting organism and focuses on human beings being free to act and control their destinies. And it centers on human values, interests, capacities, needs, worth, and dignity. Learning refers to acquisition of new knowledge, behavior, skills, and values through a process of study, practice, and experience. I will give you an example for humanism. Napapansin ko na marami nag-aaway ngayon because of politics. I will not mention any sides. But some people, they keep on saying it's hard to argue with people. For example, ma'am, boto mo si ito. Ma'am, boto mo si ito. Ito mas magaling. Mas ganito kasi ganyan. And ito mas magaling kasi ganyan. Each individual, when they chose this person, that's their choice. Alam ko sabihin ng iba, huwag niyong piliin yan kasi ganito, ganyan, ganyan. Okay, and you will argue. But definitely, kahit anong argue mo, hindi mo boboto pa rin niya yun. Kahit sabihin mo, ma'am, bobo yun eh. Ma'am, hindi yun. Sorry for the term, pero ganun. But, wala pa din. Kahit na mag-ubos ka ng laway, hindi pa rin niya iboboto yung gusto mo, kung ayaw niya. Because each individual is a thinking person. Nag-iisip yan. Now, if it's not in favor for you, wala na. Hindi mo siya pwedeng pilitin. Kasi hindi naman napipili yan. Like, the political view and religion cannot be forced. Like, for example, maging Katoliko kayo lahat. Katoliko maganda. Or maging Kristiyano kayo lahat. O maging Muslim kayo lahat. Yun ang importante sa atin. No, we cannot. We cannot say that. It's not good. Kasi pareho lang political, yan, na you cannot force it. Because each individual is a thinking being. Nag-iisip sila, may choices sila, it's okay. It's fine. As a teacher, what you could do is you help them how to think. And now, kung hindi mo gusto yung naisip nila, wala tayong magagawa doon. You cannot change. But what you could do for them is that you help them na what are the things that you could do para yung iniisip mo is valid, is factual. So, instead na sabihin mo, mali yan, so you could use, okay, so next time, check your references, yung mga ganon, yun ang pwede natin ituro. But we cannot control the minds of the students and other people as well. Kahit makipagdebate ka, hindi. Kahit bigyan mo yun ng 100 facts, sabi nga ni Lady Gaga sa kanta niya, give me a million reasons to let it go, just give me one good reason to stay. So, million versus one. So, yeah. Because each individual is a thinking human. Okay? And, kanina, di ba? Ito pala. During the Renaissance period, humanism played a major role in the education because
The humanist proponents are practitioners of humanism during the Renaissance. They believe that human beings could be dramatically changed by education. My dear students, humanism emerges during the Renaissance period, rebirth. So, dami silang pinagdaanan yan. That's why, during the Renaissance period, ito yung pinaka-importante sa kanila. That they are thinking, parang a new hope. Overall, humanist education was thought that at that time is an important factor in the preparation of life. Its main goal is to improve the lives of citizens and help their communities. Humanist schools combine Christianity and the classics to produce the model of education. Now, in humanistic psychology is a perspective that as a whole individual and stresses on concepts such as free will, self-efficacy, and self-actualization. Rather than concentrating on dysfunction, humanistic psychology strives to help people fulfill their potential and maximize their well-being. As a teacher, a humanist teacher, we will be focused not just on what the students would learn, but what would they feel? Kasama din yun sa tinitingnan natin. And how they will feel fulfilled. Kasi, my dear students, even if you transfer all of the knowledge, ang science and math, marami siyang mga lessons. Marami siyang mga lectures. But, kahit na ibigay mo sa kanila, humanistic approach believes that kahit ibigay mo na ibigay yan, sometimes, kulang siya. Kasi, hindi sila fulfilled. So, yun yung claim ng humanistic psychology. In a humanistic curriculum, it is based on belief education is good for a person, which is also best of the nation. So, babalik pa rin tayo sa self-choosing. Okay? Humanism was developed in an educational philosophy by Rousseau and Pestalozzi. So, yun. I think pwede na tayo. Dahil mga science. Okay. So, paulit-ulit din naman kasi, basta thinking being sila, Renaissance period. Okay, Gage and Berliner describe 4 basic objectives. They promote and develop positive self-direction and independence, develop the ability to take responsibility for what is learned, promote creativity, and promote and develop curiosity. That is humanism, the basic objectives of humanism. Now let's have the constructivism. Constructivism is based on the belief that learning occurs as learners are actively involved in a process of meaning knowledge construction as opposed to passively receiving information. Sabi dito, ang estudyante daw, hindi siya yung, okay, class, ganito yan. Hindi. But rather, you will help them build. Nagbi-build ang bawat estudyante, nagko-construct ang bawat estudyante ng knowledge, which is actually true. Kasi sometimes, using brainstorming, di ba, you will just give a concept, tapos after nun, ang dami nang binigay ni estudyante. Ang dami na. And constructivism is an approach to learning that holds that people actively construct or make their own knowledge and that reality is determined by the experiences of the learner. So, may mga, in science and math, usually science yan. Some of the things na, it's very important yung recitation natin. Kasi, some people, they will share their stories. Now, it is very related to the lesson. And it is have additional knowledge and more practical application sometimes. So, it's, we view the students could give those. Constructivism says that learners bring their personal experience into the classroom and this experience have a tremendous impact on students' views and how the world works, which is very true. Minsan, may mga bagay na kahit sa ang subject, minsan nag-share yung bata, mapaisip ka ba, ay, oo nga, no? Pinaisip lang. Okay? So, you should be open that the students, hindi naman porket ikaw si teacher, ikaw na lagi ang magaling. Hindi po totoo yan. It's not all the time. Sometimes, we need our students as well. Kasi may mga experience sila that we haven't experienced, which is very good, and it will have a better application. Lagi nyo tatandaan. Kaya huwag kayong ma-offend in the future. Kapag kunwari may estudyante kayo, for example, mas magaling sa'yo kaysa sa science, dito sa part na to, because that is his interest. And instead of, sige, ikaw na magturo, magaling ka pala eh. Instead na sabihin mo gano'n, he could inspire the student to become science majors as well, or mathematics majors as well. And the thing na research niya, or the thing that he or she is sharing, this could help you for your lesson as well. Baka mamaya may mga na-overlook ka at hindi mo nakita. So, that is better. And the students will feel very happy that they help the class. Okay? So, sometimes we could use our resources. May mga bata kasi talaga na mahilig sa science, mahilig sa math, na we could use. At it will be better as well. Pwede mo siya sabihin, okay? So, pwede mo siyang itutusan na, okay, so let us help each other. Baka mamaya may hindi kayo pwedeng gano'n. You give him responsibility since ahead siya sa classmates niya, na he could teach his classmates, for example, tutoring, mga gano'n, or you could ask, if you're very shy kay teacher, pwede kayo yung mga ganong bagay. Because we are promoting the students. Characteristics of constructivism. Learners' constructive understanding. New learning depends on current understanding. Learning is facilitated by social interaction, and meaningful learners occurs with authentic learning tasks. So, most of the time, the learner-centered, nakafocus talaga siya sa authentic tasks. Hindi siya masyado sa textbook kasi lumalayo na tayo. Kaya nauso sa atin yung mga video, gano'n. And there are two types of constructivism. We have the individual constructivism. This is also called cognitive constructivism. It emphasizes individual, internal construction of knowledge. It's from the Piaget's theory. Proponents of this type choose child-centered and discovery learning. They believe that learners should be allowed to discover principles through their own exploration, rather than instruction by the teacher. Instead of giving everything, you could ask them. Like, for example, instead of saying, okay, class, lulubog to. Ito, ganito, pag ganito, lulubog yan. Ito, pag ganito, ganyan. No, you could have some games. Or maybe, pag sa mathematics, pwedeng gawin nyo sa kanila, pwedeng magbigay kayo ng situation, na real-life situation, okay? Na pwedeng, they have already watched. Or maybe, my dear students, if you love, ako kasi I love memes. I do collect memes, sometimes very related to the lesson. Sa inyo, since bata pa kayo, baka nakakita kayo ng mga memes na you could download, send you sa sarili nyo. You could download it, and then you could use that sa klase. Alam niyo bakit? Ano kagandahan ng memes? It's already circulated. Na-circulate na siya. So, some students, even the lower sections, meron na silang, they have the idea of what it is. So ngayon, if you will use that sa klase mo, meron silang ma-share. And they will feel, some learners, pag nakapagsalita sila, kapag share sila at tama, na-recognize sila ng teacher, they will be very happy. And pwede mo silang tangayin na pwedeng mag-aral pa sila. Okay, so mga ganun. So sometimes kasi it's a good thing. So if ever you could see some memes that is related to you, or some videos, pwedeng mga ganun. Because they want authentic. And aside from that, you could, if time will permit, pag nagkaroon ng field trip, pwede rin naman. So mga field trip sa atin. My dear students, especially sa science muna tayo. Usually kasi ang mga field trip may related sa science, sa history, sa English. Bira kasi sa math. Awang ko. Pero pwede. Para nakakaisip ako ng activity sa math. Sa field trip namin before, this is for physics. Enchanted Kingdom kami. Tapos sabi ni Sir Bart Asa, that's my prof doon. Okay, so we will have, your project will come from the field trip. Sobrang sad. So, pinakompute niya sa amin. Nakalimutan ko yung pinakompute eh. Nakasakay kami sa flying fiesta, tapos may kinocompute kami. Binibilang namin yung ikot. Tapos, after doon, i-record namin. Tapos, may kinocompute eh. Tapos, tinitignan namin yung measurements. Okay, kaya habang nag-field trip kami, masaya naman. Habang nag-field trip kami, nagme-measure kami. Tapos may mga dala kaming papel. So, it's really fun because you could see a real-life application. Although, lang kasi wala kang ginagawa. But I guess, sometimes, pag may task ang bata, even if it's field trip, naging okay. Sa akin sa English, ayan, lagi ako nagpapatas. Pero more on vlogging and pinag-vlog ko yung mga bata, tapos yung subtitles, iba-iba yung kulay. Because parts of speech ang aming lesson. So, hirap na hirap sila. Hirap na hirap sila, ini-edit nila yung bawat text. So, good morning everyone, I am here. Parang gano'n, I am here. So, good morning. So, what is good? Anong parts ng speech siya? Yung morning, anong parts of speech? So, iba-iba yung kulay ng subtitles. So, it's really hard. But they did enjoy it. Kaya lang, masakit daw talaga sa ulo yung pinagawa ko. But at least they enjoy it. Okay, so authentic. So, nalaman nila because of the subtitles. Alam na nila kung ano yung mga different parts of noun kasi nire-research nila. Okay? It's really good. Social constructivism is, this view emphasizes that knowledge exists in a social context and is initially shared with others instead of being represented solely in the mind of an individual. Hence, construction of knowledge is shared by two or more people. According to social constructivists, the opportunity to interact and share among learners help to shape and find their ideas. So, nagkakaroon ng interaction, pwede dito about sa brainstorming. It's very important. You could give a concept tapos nag-uusap sila. Yep. Knowledge construction becomes social and not individual. Now, malapit din tayo matapos. Don't worry. Existentialism tayo to help students understand and appreciate themselves as unique individuals who accept complete responsibilities of thoughts, feelings, and actions. Huwag kayong maguluhan sa existentialism tsaka sa humanism. Why? Help teacher students define their own essence by exposing them to various paths they take in life, by creating a environment in which they are free to choose. Medyo nakakalito si humanism and existentialism, Pero, with existentialism, more about essence and existence. And, for example, pag existentialism, di ba sinasabi natin, Dr. Rizal is a national hero. He was killed. Blah, 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 blah. But instead of saying that, pwede mo, as an existentialist, pwede mo sabihin, in what way you are the same with Dr. Rizal? So, parang, may question na siya ng existence mo na parang, bakit nga ba? Paano kami pareho? May pareho ba kami ni Dr. Rizal? Parang may paisip ka ng bata yung mga ganun. Or you could also say, how Rizal could be a model? And existentialism is also learning is self-paced and directed. And now, teachers dito is not non-judgmental. Kasi they believe that values are personal. So for example, okay, my dear students, for your recitation, I will ask you, sino dito sa bahay ang sabay-sabay kumakain? Okay? Yung ano na lang. Okay. Sino dito sa bahay ang sabay-sabay kumakain ang buong pamilya? Ay, wala. Lahat kayo iba-iba? Hindi kayo sabay-sabay kumakain? Family?
Hindi po.
Hindi. Okay, may hindi. Meron ba dito na sabay-sabay? May nagsabi ng hindi? Ayan. Okay. So, si Mary Joy Tabalan, sabi, sabay-sabay daw sila. Okay. So, they have two people. Okay, yan. Nagsabi na sabay-sabay. Ayan. May nagko-comment na. Sabay-sabay kumakain. Di ba sa values ng family nakalagay, dapat sabay-sabay tayong kumakain? Mali ba na hindi sabay-sabay kumakain? You cannot say no. Kasi what if, for example, anong oras na? 6:51. Kaya ko na, 6:51 na sa akin. Lapit na. 10 minutes na lang, magto 2 hours na ako. Tama ba? Mali yata. 30 nga pala, no? 5:30. 7:30. 30 minutes na pala ako bago mag 2 hours. Okay. So, sabay-sabay daw sila kumakain. Iba hindi. But you cannot question that. What if meron doon na kailangan 7 kumain na kasi inom ng gamot or yung trabaho, yung mga ganun bagay. But so you cannot question that. Kasi values are personal. So some people, ito rin isa sa tanong ko sa nanay ko. Sabi ko, bakit ganun? Sa tingin mo ba, yung mga politiko na corrupt, bakit yung mga anak nila, it seems that they're fine. How are they raised? Kasi, pwede rin naman kasi na corrupt sila, pero bakit accepted nila ng ganun? Diba? Iba-iba ng values eh. Maybe, ang sinabi sa kanila ng tatay nila, na ganito, ganyan, pero may iba, ganito, ganyan. So, yeah. So the proponent of that is John Paul Sartre. Behaviorism. While I was doing this PowerPoint presentation, I really thought that I was just a progressivist teacher. But actually, I was a behaviorist din pala as well. Modification is shaping of students' behavior by providing a favorable environment. Product of their environment daw kasi ang bata. So behaviorists teach students to respond favorably to various stimuli in the environment. So important daw dito yung light, temperature, arrangement of furniture, size, and quantity of visual aids have to be controlled to get the desired response. So they ought to provide appropriate incentives to reinforce positive responses and weaken or eliminate negative ones. The proponent of this one is John Watson. Sa behaviorism, pagagadahin mo yung classroom mo. And not just with this one. Actually, sa behaviorist, ang pwede kong gawin dito, I could put some backgrounds if you are a junior high school or elementary students. So I could wear a colorful something para sa kanila. Pwede yun. Ganun sa behaviorism. And we also give rewards. Like, for example, sa akin, nagkakaroon kayo ng quiz next week. Diba? So ngayon, I want you to review. So anong pwede kong gawin para mag-review kayo? So, naisip ko, alam ko na. I will give incentives sa makakakuha ng highest score per class. Pero gusto ko pa silang mas ma-excite, mas madami pang class. So, yung mga makakakuha pa ng pinakamataas sa BPED, BSED English, Math Science, Filipino, and BTVTED will receive more additional plus sa kanilang midterm. Kung sila yung highest sa lahat. Diba mas magre-review sila pag ganun. Pag may mga additional points. What if, pag ikaw lagi ang highest, nakakuha ka ng 50 points additional sa midterm? Di hindi ka na masyadong mag-aaral nun kasi halos 50 na lang. Diba? So I give additional points to people. And I give exemptions, which I already gave to you. Nagbibigay ako sa inyo ng exemptions. Alam niyo na yan, kasi you are math science, na-handle ko na kayo before. I will give you another example na I could say I'm a behaviorist. Pinlano ko na, sabi ko, masyadong mabigat sa mga bata. Napapasukin ko sila ng demo ng bawat ST ko. Kawawa naman yung mga bata. Paano ko sila mapapapasok and mako-convince na 4 straight weeks silang papasok? Sip ko, kailangan may mapapala ang bata. So what I said to my essay, ganito gawin nyo. Tell your students that they will be exempted or they will have additional plus sa midterm. Hindi lang yon. We will not have a class for 1 month. Di ba 1 month tayo nun kasi 2 sunod. Tapos the following sunod kayo, halos 1 month tayo hindi nagkita. Because, ibig sabihin nun, talagang napahinga kayo. May napala kayo. Diba? Parang ganun. Kasi I believe that we need to condition students. Nadidinig ko na yan sa mga bata. Ano mapapala namin pag ganyan. So, yun. Kaya ako mataas maghatak. And aside from that, inutusan ko si class manager nyo, si class mayor, si class monitor, may mapapala din sila. Okay? So, yun. That's what I'm telling. I'm a little bit of behaviorist myself pala. I just realized because I thought I was just progressivist because I want, because of the styles that I have, but I'm also a behaviorist. And I think more on behaviors. So you could use this one there. Next is linguistic philosophy. This one is the last one. To develop the communication skills of the learner because the ability to articulate, to voice out the meaning and values of things that one obtains from his or her experience of life and what the world is very essence of a man. So dito sa linguistic, kaya linguistic, nasa word pa lang, na it's communication skills is very important. Not just the verbal, but also the non-verbal. That's why we will teach students on how to communicate with verbal, non-verbal, or paraverbal, and also an oral or written. Okay? So lagi tayong magbibigay sa kanila ng mga activities in which they could use it in a conversation practices. Magko-converse sila. And with this one, since we want to help the students to express themselves, we would like to encourage the students to not just learn one language, but as many language as you can. Para kay Dr. Cerizal, he learned lots of language, mapahapon, lahat ng pinuntahan niyang bansa, natutunan niya kung paano magsalita. And marami siyang naging connections. Linguistic philosophy, aside from that, we will also discuss the tone, phrasing, volume of voices. We will use the precise, correct, grammatical, and coherent, accurate dapat. Teach constant receiving different messages. So the proponent is Jürgen Habermas, enhanced George grammar. Okay? So last unit na tayo for today. Saglit lang to. Actually, I will just read it. In a book written by Weimer, 2002, she said that students to be learner-centered, the instructional practice needs to change in 5 ways. 1, the function of content in learner-centered teaching includes giving students a strong knowledge foundation, applying the content, and the ability to learn independently. This is the problem with learner-centered. Alam ko nahihirapan kayo sa teachers na, if ever that most of your teachers are teacher-centered, malamang sa nahihirapan kayo sa learner-centered. Why? Kasi sa learner-centered, more on kayo. Hindi ko sinasabing reporting. I'm not into reporting. Hindi. Hindi lang yun ang basihan ng learner-centered. Instead of, for example, ganito ginagawa ko sa klase. Learner-centered kasi talaga ako. I could say, hindi ako nagtuturo. Hindi ako nagpapareport. Hindi ako laging nagtuturo. Pero lagi kami activity. Kaya, ang dami kong activity. So, I will give you an example. Kaya lang, this is for math and science because this is for English and Filipino subjects. I don't know, hindi ko sure kung kaya ng math and science ko. But you could have yours. Sa akin, before I begin, kagaya ng ginagawa ko sa inyo ngayon, I ask you to review. I ask you to have, I always ask you na mag-review kayo because you will have a game, which is, ito yung mga question and answer. I'm actually introducing you this. Pahihirapan natin na pahihirapan and patataasin natin yung mga different points para mapapasok ko kayo na hindi ko kayo pinipilit. So, with this one, ang gagawin natin ay ang ginagawa ko sa mga bata, since magkakaroon kami ng question and answer po lagi. So, meron ako pinapanood sa kanilang video, tapos may question and answer kami based dun sa video, based dun sa book, after the discussion. Minsan, hindi na ako minsan masyado nagtuturo. Kasi pinapapanood ko yung video dahil ayaw nilang magbasa. Tinry kong magturo, naboboringan sila. So, lahat sila, mula nang ginawa ko yon, lagi silang nag-aaral. Yung libro namin ng Filipino at English, hindi ko naman, kasi minsan nagko-question, o kaya after ng discussion, quiz agad, hindi ko naman sila pinipilit na mag-aral. But rather, I did not say, mag-aral kayo. Instead of saying, mag-aral kayo, I will give activities. So, ayun, alam niyo yung nangyari, nung I give them independent learning talaga, nadadaanan ko sila, hawak nila yung libro. Hawak nila yung libro nila lagi. Tapos talagang makikita mo yung libro more on mga maraming annotations, maraming highlights, talagang, alam mo yung pages, yung talagang ginanon-ganon na, sobrang ganon. I did not require them. And then, I have observed na mas na-excite sila sa klase. Ang ingay nga lang nila kasi, alam niyo yung feeling, I don't know if na-feel niyo na to sa inyong teachers, pero na-feel ko sa kanila na may times na magtuturo ako dapat. Ma'am, huwag ka na magturo, bilis, maglaro na tayo. Yung review namin nawawala, parang ganon. So, sila nag-request na daw magturo. Kasi naka-review na sila. Prepared na sila. So, I did not, naka-ready ako nun magtuturo, pero I did not kasi alam na nila yung sagot. Dahil they want to have the game. They want to have more. And they know that pag ako teacher nila, every now and then, they should be ready. minsan, for example, after namin, lalo na minsan nagto 2 hours ako, sinabi ko dun sa head ko na, pakigawa pong 2 hours ang klase ko. Pagsamahin niyo po. So, noong una, hesitant sila. Ba't nagawa ko na 2 hours? 2 hours kami. So, ano nangyayari? Magdi-discuss ako for 1 hour, tapos meron silang activity. Alam na nila yon. Pero hindi ako yung nagpapa-activity na kinabukasan. Minsan, but now na-realize ko na hindi. Na dapat ang activity is on the spot. Na medyo ano pa yung knowledge nila. So, ngayon, yung mga bata, nag-advance sila at may mga nakahanda sila kasi hindi nila alam kung ano yung magiging next activity. So, I guess, you need to excite the students. Ngayon medyo may naisip na akong pagagawa sa mga estudyante ko ngayon, which is kayo, na nakita ko kasi hindi lahat nagbabasa. So, this is my section 1, 2, this is my 3rd class and nakita ko na hindi kayo nagbabasa. So, we will have more games. Because this is a DUC 201, which means this will be part of your licensure examination for teachers. So, we will have more activities, pero within the class. Okay? So, 30 minutes siguro before, dapat nagbabasa-basa na kayo. So, I will tell you what we will do the following. Next is the role of the instructors focuses on helping the students to learn. Hindi ka na yung kagaya ng sa'yo manggagaling na you're the sole teacher, tapos kapag kunwari nagturo ka, bahala ka. Bahala ka. Kung naintindihan niyo ba, wala akong pakialam kung maintindihan niyo. Hindi ko kailangan mag-isip ng laro, mag-lecture tayo, mag-discuss ako. Nawalan ka na internet connection, hindi ka makahabol, o ano naman. Hindi ganun. A learner-centered is different. Sasabihin mo na, ako, parang hindi yata nagsi-reply yung mga bata, walang chat. Paano to? Ano kaya yung pwede kong gawin para mapasagot ko sila? On their own. Okay. Kaya. Okay. Ganito. Alam niyo kung bakit? Diba sa bahay, ayaw niyo nauutusan. Naiinis kayo sa mga nanay niyo, tatay niyo, ate niyo, kuya niyo, tita niyo, pag inutusan kayo. Kasi ayaw ng tao na inutusan. Kasi nga, ang tao, thinking beings. What they want is they want to have a chance to do it on their own. Like for example, siguro ako ganun din. Ililigpitin ko naman yung kaldero. Iligpitin ko naman yung paliligpitin mo na, tapos naunahan ka ng nanay mo na. Dahil, ligpitin mo yung kaldero. Parang, naman, hindi tuloy nangyari na kusang loob para tuloy inutos. So minsan, di ba, parang ganun yung nangyayari sa atin. Na pag sinabihan ka, lalo mong inaayawan. Kasi not all of you na-excite na para pag inutusan, yes, ma'am. Hindi Yung iba, tusan na naman ako. Parang ganun. So sometimes, instead of instructing them, we should be helping. We should be facilitating them. And we should help them how to learn. We should help them to have their own goals. We should excite them. Third one is the responsibility for learning shifts from instructor to the students. Now, my dear students, pag learner-centered, ang pinakaiba niya sa teacher-centered is that kayo na talaga bahala sa sarili niyo. If you will grow, you will be given parang, kunwari, binigyan kayo ng instructor nyo ng before, okay, ganito, magtatanim tayo. Unang, kumuha ng buto. Parang ganun. Tapos ganito ang gagawin nyo, tapos ganito ang gagawin nyo. But when it comes to learner-centered, kayo po mahala. Like, for example, pag sinabing learner-centered, bibigyan kayo, okay, so class, magdala kayo ng buto, ng tubig, ng lupa, at saka ng, pot. Basta pot. Kasi andun na kayo, ayan na, na kayo mga magkakaklase, nakaupo na, magtatanim kayo Okay, pakitanim. Okay. Tapos ngayon isipin nyo, teka, maunahin natin. So ngayon, isang ka-group, muna, ganito gagawin kasi ganito ginagawa namin pag nagtatanim kami sa bahay. So ganito, tapos ito susunod mo. Tapos ito susunod mo. So nagkakaroon kayo ng collaboration. Instead na sabihin yung kanya. We could also have for science and mathematics, pag nag-face-to-face, or pwede pag nagkaroon kayo ng breakout room, pwede sa isang drive, bigyan sila. Tapos, isipin, paano mo sa kanila, ano yung lesson natin? Well, don't tell them their lesson. paggawan mo sila ng activity, and they will figure out their lesson. Pwede yung gano'n. Pwedeng pagsama-samahin mo. Okay? So I have here some words. What do you think is our lesson for today? Parang gano'n, isipin sila. Okay? So ano mangyayari doon? Yung mga student, na mga advanced student, mag-advance review sila. Sila magsasabi. And yung mga competitive student, maano sila, kailangan competitive ako eh. Kailangan kong hindi maunahan. Okay, parang. Kasi iba na may mga friends, tara guys, review tayo. Actually, yung pinsan ko dito, nagre-review sila magkakaklase. Grabe, nag-Google Meet sila magkakaibigan. Tapos nagre-review sila. Gara, parang, may mga gumagawa ba sa inyo nun? Nakikita ko sila parang may klase sila sa nursing, and then may review sila ng 9 to 1. Meron ba sa inyong nagre-review na as a group, yung nag-Google Meet? May mga ganun kaya dito. I don't know if ganun kayo, but sa kanila ganun. And that's their style. So some students might be like that. Nakikita ko yung pinsan ko nag-advance study. So may mga ganun estudyante. May mga estudyante din naman na hindi. Number 4 is the purposes and process of assessment shifts from only assigning grades to include providing constructive feedback. Like for example, instead na sabihin nyo, 75. Now, why is it 75? How can you improve the grade? Pwede ganun. Or for example, sa project, ma'am, bakit po 30 out of 35 ako? May ibang teacher na sabihin, nakakadinig ako ng ganyan eh. Buti nga, tinerti ko eh. Dapat nga mas mababa pa. Hindi pwedeng ganun. Kailangan alam ng bata saan siya may kulang. Gusto mo matuto yung bata. Kasi hindi mo binibigyan. Binigyan mo siya ng mababang grade pero hindi niya alam kung bakit. Like, for example, ma'am, bakit po ganito? Ang pangit ng gawa mo eh. Saan po pangit? As in, whole na po? Paano po yung content? So, definitely, you need to give rubrics. And you always need to provide helpful feedbacks. And, pag may tamang ginawa yung bata, praise the student. Okay? So, wala namang masama kapag pinuri mo yung estudyante. Like, kung may magandang ginawa. For example, si Kylene, may maganda siyang ginawa, natuwa ka sa report. Sabihin mo, wow, Kylene, ang ganda naman ng ginawa mo. Very good. You did a good job. Hindi plastic po yun. Kasi, kung maganda po talaga yung ginawa. Okay? So, you need to give feedbacks to the students. As much as possible, especially the math and science class, hanggat maaari po, ha? Pag nag-timer ka, magiging mahirap sa part ninyo mag-check na mag-check. But as much as possible, pakibigay naman po yung mga quizzes, mga lab tests, yung mga kung ano-anong mga test nyo sa klase, agad-agad. Huwag nyo na pong paabutin ng next grading bago ibigay. Dapat po yan agad alam. Bakit? Lalo na yung mga math and science na yan. Kailangan kasi nila yan to review. Lalo sa math. Sa math, kailangan alam. Kasi for example, ito yung solution. Now, pwede siya magpaturo sa mga kaklase niya. Uy, paano ba naging ganito to? Ganito kasi yan, i-compute mo ng pagganito. So ngayon, natututunan niya. Yung mga mali niya. Same as science. So nakakapag-review sila. And di ba, isn't that the point of learning for you to review? Di ba kasi ayaw nila kasi daw, this is why intellectual property. Ba yun ang sinasabi nila. But isn't it I think, dapat yun ang purpose mo as a teacher. Dapat nakakapag-review yung mga bata. Okay? So yun. You need to provide feedback for the students. And last one, the balance of power shifts so that the instructor shares some decisions about the course with the students such that the instructor and students collaborate and course policies and procedures. So magkakaroon na siya ng collaboration with the instructors. So, this would be our last part of our activity. I actually prepared 20 questions all in all, I guess, or 25. I think 20 lang naman. So, let's continue our game. Okay, question number 11. Product of his environment. This philosophy believes in the product of his environment. Anong philosophy ito? Product of his environment. Okay? Let's have the next one. Question number 12. The correct answer for 11 is behaviorism. Haha, ano nangyari, Elena? Behaviorism. So, ang happy ni Elena. Okay, question number 12. They believe that the person is a communicating person. A communicating being. Number 12. Communicating being, person. We're about to end our session. Number 12. Ba't wala ako nababasa? Nagkopyahan na sila. Wala nang tumama. Linguistic philosophy, communication. Ayan, very good, Erica. Sakto naman tayo. Kaya hindi naman. Feeling ko nag-glitch lang. Okay. 13. Yes or no na lang ang sagot. Yes or no, constructivists agree that meaning can be imposed. Yes or no? Yes or no? Constructivists agree that meaning can be imposed. Okay? The correct answer is no. Very good. Oh, question number 13. Yes or no? Behaviorists are concerned with the modification of students' behavior. Yes or no? Okay? Number. Okay, the correct answer is yes. Behavior modification tayo. Okay? Number 14. Yes or no? Perennialist teacher sees wisdom of ancient medieval times. Sabi ko sa inyo kanina. Ancient medieval times. Yes or no? Sorry, naingay pala. Yes or no? Okay? Correct answer is yes. Kaya nga thinker sila. Next. Yes or no? Essentialist teachers are frowned, okay, on long academic calendar. Yes or no? Oh, Geraldine Simbo. Okay. And the correct answer is no. Okay. So that's all. That's all our discussion for today. I hope that you enjoy and you learn something. Okay. Hindi ko na ma-end yung presentation ko. I hope that you learned something. So, okay. Bagal mag-send, hina kasi data ko. Sorry for that. So, I think I will have other activities na lang din for yun lang ang problem. Yes, no, yes, no. Ikalma nyo, guys. Okay. So, thank you. Thank you for that. So, everyone, do you have any questions muna? You have any questions? None. Okay. So, none. If you don't have any questions, class monitor. Wait, before, again, mamaya, nung mga nakaraan, nag-leave agad. Before I give our last recitation, class monitor, kindly open your, kindly open po your cameras for our last picture. Bago ko ibigay ang ating final. Okay? So, ano na lang, ikaw na lang magbilang. I hope you enjoyed.
1,
2, 3. Okay na po,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. For your last recitation today, I just want you to write at least one. One reflection. What did you learn today? Yun lang. One. Bago kayo umalis, just write, what did you learn today? Yun lang po. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great night.
So